everyone. It's Tina McGlynn again with Life and Stories. And today I have got Dr. Liz Lehmen all the way from Maryland. And we're going to talk today about how she became how she transitioned from a type A anesthesiologist to a conscious entrepreneur. And do you like stumble over that word like I do?
Constantly. And don't ask me to spell it, Tina, because I'm like, it's a mess. It should be easier. Business person, I don't know. We should change it. It's just not right.
Oh, I know. So tell me about that journey. I want to know.
Well, it is interesting. And I would love to say that it was a one and done, a flick of the switch. But as all things in life are, it is not. It is an ongoing process, especially when, being type A and growing up in a house where you were just expected to succeed. My father was a physician, my mother was a nurse, and then, had retired to take care of the house, the family, and be the office manager and do everything. So there was, no question, like, okay, well, you are just going to get A's and do well in life, and that's it. So I internalized that failure was bad and equated failing with a bad self-worth, like I was not worthy unless I was doing well at the highest level. So that led to a cycle of me being a type A personality. And I ended up going to medical school, in retrospect, not out of a great love of doctoring, but more to, appease my father or to seek his approval. Medicine was
a lot.
Business. Yeah. And I just like, okay, well, yeah, sure, I'll go to medical school. And I had a younger brother who was gifted, the stethoscopes and the doctor toys and all that. And I got the Barbie heads and, like the hair and makeup things that
yes, I had one. Yes.
That big head, and you can put the bright blue eyeshadow on, do their hair. That was my Christmas present. And I was like, hey, I can go to med school too. So challenge accepted, I'm going. And then fast forward, I ended up as an anesthesiologist, ironically choosing a profession where failure is not an option. If you fail as an anesthesiologist, your patient dies. So that's a topic for a whole different, because you're in the operating room and you need to keep them alive, and, but that's just how that profession is. But gradually I started, seeking other things that would make me happier and a little more centered and grounded. Okay. And I got into yoga. I was always into fitness. And for me, when I started yoga, it was like, hurry up, I got to get to yoga, beeping at the cars to get out of my way because I'm late for class. And I was the person that left before Shavasana because I have things to do. I cannot possibly be bothered with laying down on my mat. That is not a workout, right?
Oh, my yoga teacher would kill you.
Exactly. So I had a long way to go. And again, not a flip a switch. It's baby steps all the way along. Gradually, the more I did yoga, I was feeling more centered. I was feeling more grounded. It was like one place where you had to focus and be present in the moment and not be thinking about your grocery list and all the to-dos. You had to be there. And I started feeling better. And I started being more calm and less anxious. And that transition, from that yoga practice to off the mat. And I started doing my yoga. I wanted to learn more. So I signed up to do yoga teacher training.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I am a yoga instructor, even though I am not currently teaching. But it was fascinating. And I remember in that time, we did a whole session on meditation. And I sat there like, okay, this is a bunch of crap, what we're sitting around. I was literally peeking with an eye open. Are people buying into this? What, we're supposed to just sit? I mean, that is how bad it was. But again, it's a transition. Now I meditate every day. That is my morning deal. I do 15 to 20 minutes every morning. And it's a game changer. It is such a stress management in addition to all the other health benefits of it. But my point is, we are all on a path to get to a place of just being more aware of breathing, more aware of the moment, and being present. And it takes a long time to get there, and then something happens and there's always the backpedaling, but it can be done. It can be done by anybody.
With a focus, right? I mean, anytime you have to change, maybe the word bad habit is not really the right way to describe it, but we'll say that for now. But anytime you want to change a behavior, it's not instantaneous.
Oh no. And yeah, I mean, in yoga, it's called a yoga practice for a reason, right? You know, it's a continual, and that's life. It's really not a perfectionistic, like one and done, check the boxes kind of goal set and achievement mentality. It really is a practice, a learning, a process, you know? And that took me a while to figure out. So while I was an anesthesiologist and not listening to my body and pushing and going, you know, I find the universe is so much more aware and smarter than us mere mortals are.
Yep.
Right. And it shut me down. Doing some ridiculous pose after my yoga teacher training I had no business doing as a almost 50-year-old woman. I tore my hamstring badly. And, you know, the option was you will sit on a frozen water bottle and you will not move for the next 4 months, or you need surgery and you will not move for the next 6 months.
Ooh, yeah, tough choice.
Tough choice, right? Yeah. So, you know, and for me at that time, not moving was like a death sentence. I'm like, how can you possibly expect me to be still? I have to run my 5 miles. I have my yoga. I've got this, I've got that. I was a single mother. I'm like, I've got kids to take care of. No. So while I was sitting, I came across a blog. I was just on searching the internet for God knows what, probably shoes, right? And yeah, woohoo! And this blog popped up. And at the time I wasn't reading blogs, but it was about making candles. And I thought, well, that's interesting. You can make candles. I mean, I always loved candles. When I was a kid, my mom would yell at me, stop playing in the candles, get your fingers out of the wax, because I always loved them. I was like, well, I needed something to do. So I ordered a candle making kit that day. And started researching about candles and how to make them, what was in them. You know, I had no idea. And what I discovered is a lot of the candles that you burn in your home were full of dyes and heavy metals and all kinds of toxins. And I was like, I want to make a candle that's going to be good for you. That is not just going to be, you know, candles are sensory heighteners. They just make you feel good and they smell good and they can relax you. And that is a huge part of it, but I also wanted to make it be good for you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So I started a kitchen experiment and then still kept doing anesthesia because I, you know, like the universe was, I still didn't listen. Like, this is what I should be doing. I went back to work. And then eventually at 50, when I turned 50, I started noticing pain in my hands. I developed significant arthritis in both of my hands.
Got you.
And in anesthesia, you use your hands a lot. But I needed surgery. It got to the point where I had lost strength and function and mobility, and I couldn't do my job anymore. So I had surgery, and the first surgery didn't work. And the second surgery didn't work. And then a third surgery on the same hand. I have a hand that doesn't work great. It's kind of stuck in the royal wave position. And I tell that to people, and people are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You were a doctor and, you know, you can't do that anymore. And I'm like, no, that I'm on the path I was meant to be on. Like, this in some ways really is a blessing. Now, I may not think that when I'm 80 years old and I can't do anything with my hand, but it gave me time to discover my path and to reinvent myself at 50 years old into creating products that made people feel better in their own homes. So
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm still doctoring, but I created a line of products like candles, essential oils, aromatherapy diffusers that have crystals in them that are fragrance with essential oils, and the crystals and the essential oils work together to really make you heal. And so now when I hear customers say, oh my God, Dr. Liz, I use this sleep roller ball like on my wrist and I put it on my pillow every night and I finally sleep for the first time in years. I'm like,
love that.
Yeah. My first thought was like, oh my God, this really works. Because, you do all the research and you think it'll work, but, testimonial validation is key.
Yeah.
But it just makes my heart so happy because I'm still really helping people and I'm giving them the tools to live their best life and feel better in their sanctuary.
I love that. And now, can we know the name of this company?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I was so busy talking. I was like, I forgot. Like,
okay, I'll ask the important questions.
I should be doing a sales pitch or something, but no, I'm just like sharing. Yes, a company. No, my company's called Aluminate Life, and it's spelled Aluminate. Aluma is a Sanskrit word for flame. Okay. And so it's a play on that because of the flame of the candles, but also illumination because you, like me, traveled that path of not taking care of yourself and realizing how important that is. I want other people to see it and to live more illuminated. Like you need to take care of you before you have anything left to take care of anybody else.
Yeah. And I love I was looking at your website. It's very well done. I love everything about it. And, is interested in all your products. I thought they were very well selected. They all made sense and good job.
Well, thanks. Oh, it was, not knowing business at all. And I'm sure a lot of your listeners are, entrepreneurs and very business savvy. And I came from a medicine background. I had no idea, like literally making this whole thing up as I went along. And I remember very early on trying to negotiate. I didn't know what I was doing. Like wholesale pricing on glasses because the candles I pour into reusable barware.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
Well, I'm like, you should have a double rocks glass at the end of your candle adventure, right? Yeah. But also I'm like, it's such a waste.
So functional, very functional.
Functional. And let's not just throw it away. Let's reuse it. But the gal at the company I got them from was like, sure, send me over your PO and I'll get this right out. And it's FOB. And I'm like, Google, what is a PO? Like, afraid of it. Like, no idea. And I still find I make it up as I go along. We all do.
Yeah. I remember my very first website so long ago in the 90s.
You were a trendsetter.
Yeah, I was an early adopter of anything tech. I just loved it, and my son was going to be 26. He grew up on a computer. I mean, my very first computer I bought in 1995 when he was born. So, it's come such a long way. It really has. And your products they resonate with me because we're full of, of disposable products that the trash, the throwing away. We've kind of lost track of how you can reuse things aesthetically and there's purpose and stuff. So I love the idea that your candles, once you're done with the candle part of it, you still have functionality of your product.
Right. Like so you have your glass, you have your crystals. I was kind of a geeky kid. I used to read the encyclopedia for fun. Back when people had paper bound encyclopedias, like from the guy knocking on the door.
I still have mine.
Oh, you win. That's awesome. I think my parents got rid of theirs when they moved to the retirement home, but they had to let go of something. So I won't, that's okay. But I loved crystals and loved rocks and had rock collections and was one of those kids that, in the family truckster doing the road trips, and you would pull into the travel plazas and they had those bins of all the different gemstones. Yes. I was like, oh, please, Mom, can I have more in this velvet pouch? She's like, you have enough. I'm like, but please, So I always loved crystals, but didn't really get anything with their healing. And I was in the yoga teacher training, and the very first session, this gal next to me we're in our very first downward dog, and all these crystals come pouring out of her sports bra, like all over the mat, all over the room. And I'm thinking, I'm very science minded at this time, Western medicine, none of this woo woo stuff. But I thought, what in the hell kind of stuff have I signed up for? What is this? I thought I was learning yoga. But through that, and then through my own research, I realized, for millennium, for many, many thousands of years, let's say that, people in ancient civilizations have believed in the healing powers of crystals. Romans called clear quartz eternal ice. Egyptian warriors would carry red carnelian with them into battle because it gave them strength and courage. And then, like, even scientifically, crystals vibrate, like all things vibrate at a molecular subatomic level. We are all made up of vibrations, and they align with our energy and the energy like all around us. So I was like, why not put them together? So, red carnelian, if it was good enough for the Egyptian warriors, I'm like, I am putting that in my energy candle. So it is in there.
I love that. I love that. So tell the listeners one more time the website. And again, I'm going to put the link on the YouTube, but I want to hear it again.
Oh, sure. It's Aluminate Life.
I just love that name. Love it.
Yeah. And you can find us on Instagram. I try to do tips on like my Instagram feed, and more will come on the website. As you know, websites are always a work in progress. Yeah. But I really want people, and sorry guys, it's primarily women, because us gals we don't listen to our body. We don't take care of ourselves the way we need to. And we're always giving so much to our partners, our children, our parents, our friends, co-workers. We leave no stone unturned in the giving department, and we need to give a little back to ourselves. So
I love that. I love the message. And, I'm looking at your website, and it just would make wonderful gifts. I'm automatically going, bridesmaids and baby showers and wedding showers and birth. I mean, just just looking at your products going, this is fabulous.
They're great gifts, perfect housewarming gifts. And you never know what size people are. You never know if they're gonna like the red or the white wine. You never know. So you're like, a candle, who doesn't love a candle? Who doesn't love essential oils? It's something that makes you feel good. I think it is a little extra special, because you're giving it with the intent of healing and making
healing. Yeah, no, I agree. So just to recap, so we've got your website, your Instagram, I'm assuming a Facebook page.
We have Facebook at Aluminate Life. We're Liz Lehmen on Facebook also. So yeah, we're sort of all integrated, business and personal, because that is just how we are.
That's okay. Just so everybody knows where, to find you. And thank you for coming to talk with us. And again, Illuminate Life. But again, if you're listening, just go to the YouTube channel for Life and Stories, and you'll see all of Liz's links there. So you can check out her website and all the fabulous products she has, and hop over to her Instagram or hop into her Facebook, whatever floats your boat. And thank you so much, Dr. Liz.
Oh, thank you, Tina. It was my pleasure to be here. And all you listeners, do something for yourself today. One thing for you today. Yes.
Self-care. And this is Tina McGlynn, another episode of Life and Stories. And I hope everyone has a great day, and check out Illuminate Life and all of her awesome products. Okay. Till next time. Goodbye.